This is T Sweat here with Great Electric Quest. You're listening to Doomtombpodcast. And if you ain't 6 feet under, you best be listening to this. All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doomtomb Podcast. My name is Chris. I am your host. This is the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. We have Secrets of Lost Empires. We have Josh and, well, is it John? Is it David? It really doesn't matter. Either way, we got this little mini interview here, and I am going to interview Josh extensively about a lot of other things that we talked off mic, and we just didn't have time, so I just wanted to get this out, and then we will go into a track-by-track discussion of his releases. You're not going to want to miss it. Until that time, get this taste right here. And if you're not familiar, follow it. Just check a link in the show notes, because Josh is an amazing artist, and that is what we discuss in this podcast. So get ready. Here it comes. Josh and John, Secrets of Lost Empires.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
All right. Secrets of Lost Empires.
Hello.
Introduce.
I'm Josh Mathis.
I'm Dan Garcia, John Quinn.
Right on. There you go. I heard about that. All right. So, Joshua, we got some stuff going on, and there was so much. And you know what? I was talking to you off mic, and I suddenly realized, shit, I wanted to do, an interview just to introduce the band and introduce yourself to the podcast. We're going to have to do another one because we got into some stuff off mic that I really wanted to hear more about from you.
Oh, of course.
So, you know what? I want to go into the music, but if you don't mind, because I know that you are an incredible, incredible artist.
That is very kind of you to say. I appreciate that.
I love it, and it might sound hokey, it might sound bullshit, but it's not. Where I like when I see a piece and it takes me somewhere. It puts me in this vibe where I gotta know what he's thinking or what is this about.
No, that doesn't sound hokey at all. I think we're all at an age where when you appreciate something,
right?
It's easy to be just open about it and and be aware of why you really like that thing and be able to express it.
Okay.
And just have access, to all the internal dialogues that go in when you're like, oh, I dig that, and this is why, and it makes me think of this, and
it really, I mean, it's so intricate, and I can't say enough great things. Do you mind? Can I? Because I have about a half a dozen pieces or so that I want to ask you about. The first one was is it called Monkey Takes?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the titles. Just tell them about the monkey fist. It's not a big deal. A lot of the titles come from either I look at it and what's the most immediate thing that comes to mind, so that when I save it and come back to it later, because a lot of it's digital. Mm-hmm. It wasn't always, but all the recent stuff like that one, I do them all digitally, and so it's Monkey Takes. All right, I know exactly what that is when I go to work on it later, and I don't have to go digging through it and where's the monkey with the horse picture? Yeah.
Was it inspired by Planet or?
It's part of the evolution of.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
Got to that point where they were riding horses and spiriting animals.
I don't know how familiar you are with Terrence McKenna.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So when. Yeah, it's. I went through a period
I'm the same as you, Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we have to say.
That's how I came to know the Joe Rogan podcast, and anything about him was through. I mean, I saw him on news radio.
Right.
I didn't realize that part of him until I came across Terrence McKenna, and through searching through Terrence McKenna stuff, you run into other names, and he's popped up, and I'm like, really, that guy? That's ridiculous. But anyway, so being a devotee of solid. So being a devotee of Terrence McKenna's writing, I'm obviously got into all that stuff.
Sure.
And it just opened up a door to all kinds of ways of thinking, and it really harkened back to that idea that he had, the stoned ape theory, where they psilocybin and improved their eyesight, made them better hunters, and it just created all this evolution. And I thought that stuff was fascinating. I still do. And so just hearing about those kind of things, you generate sort of a mythology in your head around it, like an image of a monkey on a horse, and like a weird sideways evolution.
At this part, what we would do is, in the stories, we would embellish and then our own imagination. We would be like, okay, let's write this. So Josh would come up with a picture, and then a song, an idea to go with it, and then we develop from the picture and from that theory. So a lot of Volume 1 is a lot of the happenstance situations that hypothetically took place in our imagination from taking the stoned ape theory and taking the concept of what he was drawing. So I mean, and it goes from a monkey riding a horse with a spear to native men fighting off UFOs to another image of a suited man fighting the Kraken in the bottom of the sea, and it's all part of just this whole evolution, starting from these monkeys eating the mushroom, and it just kind of developed from there. Anyways, that was just the interjection of how bizarre and wild we would go with this. We would stay up all night just embellishing stories, this is what this song's going to be about. Oh yeah, and this picture goes with it, and imagine this was what happened before the picture and after, and so it all has this story that goes with Volume 1. Okay. And each volume, I mean, just from looking at the images and the songs and the volumes, I already know this is another part of a story that Josh has written. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways. Okay, so we got that. The second piece I would like to ask you about is Float.
Oh yeah.
Can you bring that up?
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Guys, just 5 minutes. Cool. Sorry.
I grew up in the desert. I'm from Phoenix, so I have a weird relationship with the area because I don't love the desert, but as I got older, I've learned to really love the that vastness.
Right.
There's that beauty in the vastness and just the space and just the juxtapositions. And it felt the same way with outer space. There was such a correlation between outer space and that sense of just vastness and living here in a weird way. I made whatever weird connection it was that I made with it, and it's also tied into I don't know how familiar you are with the band Failure.
I don't know.
Oh my God, Failure. They're an incredible space rock band out of L.A.
Okay.
And they've been around. They were around in '96. Well, before then, but that's where I heard from them. And they put out this album called Fantastic Planet, and it's just this epic space rock. It's just this beautiful album. It's amazing. And so it really drove into my head. And this is also around the time of just beginning to experiment with psychedelics and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so listening to that crazy space rock and being in that mindset and just images of outer space and just vastness and psychedelic desolation were very and still are very attractive to me.
Do you take anything to enhance the creative process?
No,
or is that you're
high amounts of caffeine and hate.
Oh, okay, yeah. I take the drug of the cog and the wrench, which was coffee.
Yes,
I drink a lot of coffee. But as you know, I'm older now, and I've got kids.
Right.
And there's just a different mindset that comes from having those responsibilities.
Yeah, you don't want them taking your stash. I understand.
Yeah, I don't want them. I don't want to answer any uncomfortable questions.
Fair enough.
Daddy, what is this?
Yes.
Shit light. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't want to have to.
That Lego movie's pretty fucking outstanding, Dad.
Yeah, this is the fucking best episode of Mickey's Roadster Racers ever.
So let's move on to a different one. Because I'll just go for two more, and I'll ask you a quick question because I know we got to go.
Absolutely.
Which one do I want to go with? Horns Post.
Ah, yes. That is based off of an idea of a woman that I know I mean, I don't know how much. Yeah, to delve more into that.
Should we leave it there?
No, I mean, not. It's not like representative of like her personality per se.
Right.
But just just like the idea of the silhouette and wanting to capture a woman in a way that wasn't like exploitive.
Yeah.
Wanting to recognize the beauty in a naked form without it being like, oh, I'm the guy who's drawing like big boobs and and crazy chicks with swords and shit.
Well, it's from behind too, so it's like all that's taken out, and it's just the beauty of it.
Yeah. So it was inspired by the idea of like the grace of someone,
right?
Like the grace and the beauty of someone, and wanted to capture that somehow, and not have it be overtly sexual. But it's just like this weird, mysterious kind of. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of a strange thing to verbalize.
Yeah. Okay.
To try and describe, but.
Well, let's go to a different one then.
It's like trying to say like this. Let me describe to you how a flower is pretty. Like it's just gonna be your own interpretation of it.
You just know it or you don't.
Yeah. And it's it's a personal thing, not in the sense that I don't want to talk about a personal thing, but it's difficult to describe in that way.
Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, natives.
Natives.
With the UFOs and
that goes.
Yeah.
See,
yeah, that goes right back to the Terrence McKenna stuff.
Okay, we wrote like that one. He came to me with that one. So what he would do, and that was first off, when I used to play with this guy, I was his drummer, of course, and he brought that to me, and I was like, what is the story? What is this story already? And then he told me, like, they came back because it was like the creators were pissed that the monkeys had evolved to this, and they came back to fight them. And I just loved how, like, they were arming up with horses and spears and bows, like, to fight the UFOs. And
that's pretty cool.
We even entertained the idea that they won in one avenue of the story. But in another avenue of that matrix, they lose, which is like more realistically. But we've just entertained like hours of just talking about like off this picture, what happened before this picture, what happened after this picture. And it would all start with him drawing these amazing frames of a story.
It's the luxury of working in a medium where you don't, there's no limitations except what you're physically capable of doing.
Sure.
So you can, like any narrative that you want to follow, I mean, it just, you can have an idea in your head and it snowballs into something else, and it doesn't matter how weird it gets, because you're like, well, there's no budget. All I have, my only budget is time, being able to sit down and work it out.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can let yourself just go to all kinds of weird places, and there's no cost.
There's a couple Easter eggs in the artwork also that goes with the music. If you look at through the images and through the songs, the Unhappy Monkey, there's a king monkey, and he's sitting on the throne, and he has the spear of the king that he beat to take the throne, of the human that he beat. And then later in the stories, there's a madam. Okay.
You're like drunk J.R. Tolkien.
Because there's a madam.
Tell me about the hobbits.
I'm telling you, there's this madam, right? And she's sitting in her boudoir of like her throne. She has her throne, but it's the woman, and she has trinkets from all the different stories in like her room.
Okay. I remember that. Yeah.
And she has the same spear that the Monkey King had. But this is like centuries later, hundreds of years later.
Yeah, well, I wanted to tie everything together because there's like different, like visually, it's different subject matter, or
right.
different places and like different narratives. But I wanted to throw things in that kind of made it all fit together in some way.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I know. I apologize.
Absolutely.
I gotta get Horseburner before they head out.
No, not a problem
but,
at all. I appreciate
we're gonna do another one because I want to go track by track. But
Absolutely.
you got this release waiting.
Yes.
Can you just give me a little summation of it, and then we're going to continue this at another date. It's good. The guitar work is fucking brilliant.
I'll throw out a couple bands that I think are fantastic that led to it. Red Sparrows and Palms, which is a band with the former members of ISIS and Chino from the Deftones on vocals, and it's a phenomenal album. But it was this like beautiful, like trippy space that both those bands create. Like the Red Sparrows is a post-rock band, so it's all instrumental.
Yeah.
And just there's a storytelling in the way that the music's played. Just the music. And for me, I always think of images always come to mind, and like spaces, visual spaces come to mind when I hear music.
That from Lucifer tonight.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh God, every band that played tonight was incredible. Yeah. But yeah, so it was me wanting to do my take on that vibe, the feel of that kind of headspace, and of course other things always get thrown in on the way.
Of course,
you never toss away an idea. Just go, oh, now it's going over in this direction. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll follow
just let it flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
I have nothing to lose by just putting out, whatever. Like, it's just stuff I enjoy doing. So,
and we got to talk about some of that other stuff that we talked off mic.
Of course, I would love
Well, we're gonna do another one. I'm gonna get your contact info, and we'll figure this out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much. I didn't really expect this, but thank you, John. You rock, brother, because I had no idea you were going to come out. I've been listening to the material ever since. Not only it wasn't only you, but it was also Ian from the band Stonewitch. He's like, hey, did you hear John's other band? He's got this Secret of Lost Empire thing. This guy's fucking this guitar work is brilliant, man.
That's incredibly flattering. I appreciate
that. Know that people are listening and people love it, and we're going to get in depth the next time you come on. All right?
Of course.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
That was awesome.
Take care, brother.
Thanks, brother.
So, it's kind of funny. Like, I record these, piece by piece, and then I edit it together, and I file it down. And I was just about to talk about one of the songs from the Secrets of Lost Empire's latest release called Waiting. But, as I'm doing that, I had my phone on, and I got a message from a good brother, a good buddy of mine, Sanjay, and he says he is listening to the podcast right now, different podcast, but either way, I had to re-record this. So either way, we're going to get into it, track by track discussion, Secrets of the Lost Empires, Waiting, and who knows what else. I imagine it's going to be a long interview. Josh is a great dude to talk to. He can just talk forever. And, well, you know what? Let me shut up right now. Let's hear a track. This is Comfort 77. doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. That is how to reach us. Planet Mammoth 2020. Don't forget, February 21st through 23rd, 2020. Yucca Tap Room, Tempe, Arizona. You do not want to miss it. I also have a radio show, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sundays. It's called The Doom Tomb. Catchy name, huh? All right. I think that's about it. We have Horseburner coming up next. They're going to be fucking huge. It's going to be a long interview. Sit back, relapse, relax, whatever it is, we'll get to it. Until that time, next time, meantime, and in between time, enjoy yourselves. Keep going to the shows. Buy some of that band merch. And don't forget to stay heavy.
Lock your doors, lock your windows. If you have the ability to provide additional security devices, then by all means do so.
Who wants to be next? I know. No one else does.